fear over electoral rigging rocks Zimbabwe as the country.
Yesterday, after listening to Prime Minister May's assessment of the state of the negotiation,
why it is our diocesan patron feast day is because the cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption is dedicated.
Do not have it in their mindset or in their psyche that we are playing against Algeria.
Où avez-vous obtenu bon bélier? On dirait que vous le savez, là où je penche.
Mon ami, pensez-vous que vous êtes le seul à connaître toutes les bonnes nouvelles? Mon fils a acheté ce bélier, lui il est à l'étranger, avec Balouo.
Ah oui, en effet, ça doit être Balouo. Moi aussi, ma fille vient d'en acheter un de Balouo.
C'est Tobaski. Vous pouvez acheter du bélier pour votre famille en utilisant le Balouo de confiance. Connectez-vous simplement sur le site balouo.com ou téléchargez l'application sur votre téléphone portable. Achetez ce bazar de bélier et d'autres produits alimentaires tels que le riz, l'huile de cousson, du sucre et bien d'autres choses encore pour votre famille. Balouo, mieux que d'envoyer de l'argent.
I think we can do both.
These days I've been in pain.
I can't hear you.
Obi-Wan, can you please help with the sound?
It's good now. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Just before we go into the business of the day, I would just like to administer the affirmation to you. I.
Okay. I.
State your name, please.
Usman Davo.
Affirm that.
Affirm that.
I will speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before we start, I'd just like to take you through some of the rules. There is simultaneous interpretation going on as we speak. So I'll request that you speak at a slow pace and you wait for 3 seconds between the time I'll ask the question and the time you'll answer it. And I will do the same for you as well.
All right, thank you.
And I'll also request that you shorten your answers just to enable us to get to all that you're saying. The topics I'd like to cover with you today are, number one, your biographical details, so as to know who you are as a person, and your educational background, your career as a journalist with respect to the incidents of harassment and violations that you witnessed or you heard of, the arrest of Chief Manneh and other related issues, And finally, we'll deal with the impact these incidents have on your life and that of your family. Can we start now?
All right, thank you.
Can you please state your full names?
My name is Usman Dabo, commonly known as Pa Usman Dabo.
Where do you live currently?
I live in Washington State, Seattle, Washington State, United States of America.
Can you please tell us your date of birth, when and where you were born?
I was born in Burem Village, East, on the 22nd of February, 1973.
Can you please give us a brief detail of your educational background from your primary to your secondary school?
I enrolled at Bremen Primary School 1980 to 1988, where I sat to the common entrance examination, then to Pakalindin Secondary School in 89, and I sat to the common entrance there again, went to Tahir Ahmadiyya Muslim High School, and graduated in 1995.
After your graduation, what did you do?
After my graduation, I taught as a teacher briefly, and from there I joined NARI, National Agricultural Research Council, from 1998 to 99.
Thereafter, what did you do?
Thereafter, I joined the Daily Observer newspaper in 1999.
What was your position when you joined the Daily Observer?
I started as a freelance reporter and rose to the rank of staff reporter in 2001.
As at the time you started off at Daily Observer, what kind of stories were you covering?
I covered that of the court cases, the political interviews and political coverages of all political parties in the Gambia, and also as an investigative reporter.
We have had evidence of harassments and violations suffered by journalists during the former regime. Can you please give us a brief recap of what you witnessed or heard during your days as a journalist with respect to those violations and harassment?
While I was working at the Daily Observer under the editor-in-chief of Sirif Bojan Senior, hello?
Go ahead, please.
As a reporter, I was working directly under Sirif Bojan Senior, who is the current owner of the Standard newspaper. And then from there, while I was there, Buba Balde became our managing director. Under the leadership of Buba Balde, they told us that the editorial independence, they interfere with our editorial independence. And then from there, we decided to resign. The editorial board, 12 members of us resigned from the Daily Observer in 2001, precisely in June.
What did you mean when you said they interfered with your editorial independence?
We were told by late Buba Balde that we are not allowed to publish any article on opposition members, mostly that of lawyer Usainu Dabo and Lamin Wajuara.
Did he tell you who specifically said that you were not allowed to cover stories relating to the opposition?
We had a staff meeting and Buba Balde informed us accordingly. So because of that, we said no, we can't do that. As a newspaper, we should allow all political parties or any citizens to give their comments and opinions. So that didn't go well with, and Junior interviewed Lamin Wajuara in 2001 when we produced, the article was produced and it didn't go well with Buba Balde. He said we have to adhere to what he says or we all resign. So we decided to resign.
Please, for clarification's sake, can you please state the name of the person that interviewed Wajuara?
Sirif Bojan Jr.
By Wajuara, do you mean Lamin Wajuara?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anything happen to Sheriff Mustafa? Did anything happen to Sheriff as a result of that interview?
No, nothing actually happened to him. We stand by him, and we stood by him, and we decided to resign.
How many of you in total resigned as a result of that interference?
12 members of the editorial board.
The 12 of you that resigned, did you continue working as journalists or did you pursue other careers?
We continue as journalists, and I think Pa Khalifa Sanyang then went to KMC as their PRO.
How about you? What did you do?
I joined the independent newspaper as a freelance reporter in 2001.
Can you tell us at that time what the editorial policy of the independent paper was?
The independent newspaper is a private-owned newspaper owned by Baba Gale Jallo, Alaji Yoro Jallo, and the editorial independence of the paper was intact.
During your time at the Independent, did you witness any incidents of interference?
No.
About harassments?
We do, from the government side, yes, we do. But within the editorial, the management, no. But with the government side, we have been harassed several times. The independent office was burned, and then the printing machine was also burned by the junglers, led by Bombardier. But during the burning of the printing machine, Sana Manjang was the one who got burned, and he threw his pistol there. The pistol was later handed over to the then Inspector General of Police, Tatin Baji, who told us that that pistol was made in France, and it could be used by criminals.
During those incidents that you've mentioned, were you present?
When the office was burned, it was burned during the night. It was only one side of the building that was burned on the MDI road. So, but our production department, headed by Namori Trawale, was the one in charge of the production of the paper. They were the one at the time of the printing, when the junglers came there to burn the printing machine.
You mentioned that it was the junglers that burnt the printing press. How do you know that?
Because we did an investigation, and it's to find out that Sana Manjang, who was part of the junglers, was among the people who came to the independent the independent printing department and burned the place. He was taking refuge in Bajinka, late Khalifa Bajinka's house at mile 7.
Can you tell us who went about that investigation you're talking about?
I did it myself together with Alaji Yoro Jallo, and when we found out that from the sources close to the military medics told us that, certain people among the military medics were going to Bajinka's house to treat Sana Manjang of the bond.
Who was Alaji Yoro Jallo at that time?
Alaji Yoro Jallo was the managing editor of the independent newspaper.
Can you situate this incident with time, please? Tell us when it occurred.
It happened in 2000, if I didn't forget, well, I think it happened in 2001.
Did anything come out of the investigations that you did, you and Alaji Yoro?
When we did an investigation, I had wanted to publish the article, but because of the sensitive nature of it, we informed a National Assembly member, Mr. Hamad Ba, at the time. And then Hamad Ba came to the National Assembly, made the pronouncement for the investigations to be held. But at that time, when he mentioned it before the National Assembly, Fatoumata Jahumpa Sise, a nominated member, told the then Speaker of the House, Sirif Mustafa Diba, to use his discretion, show that the media will not publish that article. But she was told by Sirif Mustafa Diba that he has no right to interfere with what journalists are supposed to write or not what to write.
And who was Sheriff Mustafa Diba at this time?
He was the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Were you present when that allegations were made at the National Assembly?
Yes, I was there for independent newspaper.
So you clearly heard what Fat Jahumpa said with respect to the allegations that was narrated by Hamad Ba?
Yes.
Thereafter, what happened?
Thereafter, we went and published the article together with the gun that was left, because we took the picture of the gun that was left at the printing department.
In which paper was the article published?
It was published in most of the newspapers, both Independent, the Daily Observer, the Point newspaper, and the Fourier newspaper.
Was the matter ever reported to the police?
The matter was reported to the police. They know about it, but they didn't do anything about it.
How do you know that it was actually reported to the police?
Because the police came to the scene.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
The police came to the scene to do their investigations.
During the process of their investigations, did they interview anyone with respect to the incident?
Yes, I believe they interviewed Namori Traore and others.
This particular arson attack, did it affect the independent paper in any way with respect to production of its articles?
Yes, it does affect us. Yes, it does affect us.
Can you tell us about that?
Because we used to print at the Daily Observer. Then we are there, the Observer management says that gave the order to the production department not to allow the independent newspaper to be printed there. So from there we shift to the Point newspaper, who were helping us with our productions or printing.
After this particular incident and after reporting about it on the papers, did you give your findings to the police with respect to what you found out about the person that got burnt?
No, because it was said at the National Assembly, and because it was said by Hamad Ba, they couldn't arrest him because he was a sitting member of the National Assembly, and he was, his rights to say those things were backed by the Constitution of the Gambia.
In your own opinion, what would you say was the conduct of the police with respect to the incident that happened at the printing press?
It was a negligence of their duty to fulfill the safety and to make sure that all Gambians are safe while in the Gambia. They protect us.
What do you think the intention was in burning down the printing place?
So they could cripple the production of independent newspaper and we will be going out of the business.
Did they succeed in doing that?
Eventually, in the later years to follow, yes, they did.
Apart from this particular incident, did you witness any other incident as well?
Yes, I witnessed the incident at the Banjul International Airport when the Gambians were coming from Mecca after performing the Hajj, and we are welcomed by the then Minister of Interior, Usman Baji, whose wife and the girlfriend fought at the airport while the pilgrims were there. And the girlfriend was admitted at Royal Victoria Hospital.
And did you write an article with respect to this story?
Yes, this article was published by independent newspaper, and that didn't go well with Usman Baji.
What do you mean by it didn't go well with Usman Baji?
He called at the office and there were a lot of threatening remarks that he made against the managing editor and the editorial boards. I mean, that we trying to interfere into the private business. At one time, they denied the story. But I mean, we got the pictures at that time of the fight, and the girlfriend was injured through the neck and was admitted at the hospital.
Were you the one that received the phone call when he called?
No, normally when they call, it's normally the receptionist who received the call and will pass it either to the managing editor when he's available. If not, they will hand it over to the journalist available at the office.
Come to hear about the threatening remarks, the words, the actual words he used.
When that happens, we just continue and then we publish all what he has said again. And then there was an editorial write-up, and this was published again by the independent newspaper.
Did he eventually know who wrote that particular article?
Yes, I, together with another colleague of mine, if I didn't forget, I think it was Makalo, then we write the article.
Makalo, are you referring to?
Suleiman Makalo.
As a result of that article, did anything happen to you or Suleiman Makalo?
Actually, nothing happened to us per se, but after that article was, published, I wrote an article on the incident remarrying to Alpha Khan in August of 2002.
Sorry, you said you wrote an article about who's married to Alpha Khan?
The then Vice President of the Gambia, Aïssatou Ndiaye Sedi, remarrying to Alpha Khan.
What happened as a result of that article?
When the article coincided with the 1-year anniversary of the late husband, Jay Sedi, and when this article came out, I was arrested on the 2nd of August 2002.
That particular article you wrote, was there any truth in it?
Yes, it was truthful and it's still truthful still now, because when we Independent published that article, neither the Vice President nor Alpha Khan came to our office to deny that article.
However, as a result of that article, you were arrested, right?
Yes, I was arrested by the personnel of the National Intelligence Agency.
Can you tell us how you were arrested and where?
I was arrested right in the office of the independent newspaper. Immediately I arrived at work. One of my colleagues told me that, there were 4 people who were asking for me. He told me he gave them my number. I said, did you know them? I said, how can you give my number to people without knowing who they are? So he said, I think they are here, they are not far. Then he went to the shop, he saw them there and told them that Pausman is at the office. So the NIS came to the office and asked if I am Pausman Dabo. I said yes. They said, we want to see you. I gave them the chair to sit. They said, no, we want you to go out with us. I said, no, who are you? Then they refused to identify themselves. Then one of them had a pen and paper and wrote there, you are wanted at the serious crime unit for questioning. I said, but may I know who you are, sir? He said, I can't tell you my name, but you'll come to know us. I said, if that's the case, then I'm not going. Then one of them came in by the name Jagan, the last name was Jagana. I came to know his name while we were driving to Banjul at the NIA headquarters through his bangle that he put on his hand. So when I gave him the seat, they refused to sit down. Then the guy was writing serious crime, and then this other guy said NIA. I said, if you don't tell me the specific place, I am not going with you. Then Jagana spoke in Wolof that you seem to be very stubborn, but when we get to the NIA, you're going to see what we're going to do to you. I replied, the work could do is to kill me, and then every human being must taste the pains of death.
As at the point that they were arresting you, did they identify themselves to you either as NIA or as serious crime police?
Mambabu was the one who wrote on the paper that I was going to the serious crime unit, but they did not identify themselves.
Did they tell you the reason why you should follow them?
No, they didn't tell me any reason.
What happened when they asked you to follow them?
When that happened, I said, okay, can you allow me to pack my stuff? He said, okay, that's fine, but please don't tell your people that you are arrested. I said, okay, fine with me. I'm not going to tell anybody. Then it was Julde Balde and the cleaner who were at the office. So I went to Julde. I said, Julde, can you please tell Yoro Jallo that I have been picked up by the NIA for questioning. So when he overheard me talking to Julde, he said, but you promised that you're not going to tell them you are arrested. I said, yes, but I didn't tell him that to tell Yoro that I'm arrested. All what I said was, let him inform Yoro that I've been picked up for questioning at the NIA. He said, oh, you are right, you are right, you are not been arrested, you are right. So that's how we went. And we walked towards MDI route, opened the door for me to enter, to go at the back to get it. I will know actually the vehicle that I'm going to board.
At that point, what was the difference between being arrested and being picked up?
Well, it's a use of language and wording. Because I tried to fake them that because I told them I'm not going to tell police that I'm arrested. So I decided to use the word pick up. Which buff.
So upon your arrival at the NIA, can you tell us what happened?
So on the way to the NIA, I had my phone with me. They asked if I had a phone. I said yes. So they told me to turn the phone off. While I was trying to turn it off, I put it on mute and decided to text Yoro Jallo that I've been picked up by the NIA. Then, on arrival at the NIA, I was first taken to the office of Ibrahim Akinte as their lead investigator. From there, I was taken to Captain Lamin Saint's office. He's one.
Can you please tell us what happened from the time you entered the NIA, what happened at the first office and what happened at Lamin Saint's office?
When I entered into Ibrahim Akinte's office, we greeted each other and asked me to sit down. I sat for a while. They didn't tell me anything. And then later, Mambabu, who came to arrest me at the independent office, walked me to Captain Lamin Saint's office. Captain Lamin Saint was a blind man. He got injured during a grenade explosion in Farafenye. I believe it was in 1996.
Did Lamin Saint do or say anything to you when you arrived at his office?
Yes, when I arrived at his office, they gave me a chair to sit, which I did, and he asked me, what's your name? I said, my name is Usman Dabo, but some call me Paus. Most people call me in the media as Paus Usman Dabo. He said, are you a journalist? I said, yes. Working for independent newspaper? I said, yes. He asked me, did you see the Today production? I said, I replied, yes. And he said, are you the author? I said, yes. I stood by the story. And from there, the marathon interrogation started.
What did the marathon interrogation entail?
He asked me, why did I write the story of Vice President remarrying to Alpha Khan? But first, he asked me what was the role of what was the role as for one to be a journalist. I said, as a journalist, our role is to inform, educate, and entertain the public, because we are the watchdogs of the society. And then he says, in this article, did you entertain or did you inform the public? I said, I informed the public about the Vice President married to Alpha Khan, since the late husband, Jay Sedi, died of a protracted...
Sorry, can you repeat that again? There was a breakage. You said since the late husband...
Since the late husband, Jay Sedi, passed away. The vice president has been single, and then she was married to Alpha Khan.
Go ahead.
Then he said to me, does the public need to know that? I said, yes, the public need to know. Because the vice president, Njai Sedi, is a public figure, and as a public figure occupying a public office, you don't have any privacy backed by the Constitution of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. Then he said to me, what benefit do you get from publishing this article? I said, there's no benefit, but I'm trying to inform the public that the vice president married to Alpha Khan because the late husband died of a protracted illness. So when I mentioned the protracted illness, he said to me, so are you telling the whole, in your article, you also stated that the late husband, Jay Sedi, died of a protracted illness. That means you are telling people that the vice president might be suffering from HIV and AIDS. I said, no, we argued. I told him that protracted illness means the late husband died of a long illness that he has been suffering with. So protracted there means long. He said to me, no, you are telling the people that vice president might be having HIV and AIDS. I said, that's your opinion, but I've never wrote in an article that the vice president is suffering from HIV and AIDS.
So from that interrogation you went through with Mr. Sen, what did you think the problem was in your article? The problem they had?
I think the problem was like most of them were not aware of the vice president remarried to Alpha Khan, and for the fact that it coincided with the 1-year anniversary of the late Jay Sedi, in which the government officials and other Islamic scholars were there doing the recitation of the Quran for the late husband.
After interrogating you, were you released?
No, I was not released. They gave me some time to break. Then after the break, we continue. I think a day I'll write like 4 to 5 statements every day. I was detained there till on the 3rd of August 2002, when they brought in Fatima Jabi, who was pregnant at the time, was arrested by the NIA. He was escorted there by his ex-husband, Lamin Sane alias Tinting. Fatima Jabi is the current First Lady of Sierra Leone.
Do you know why they brought her there at the NIA?
No, I have no clue actually why they brought her there, but I overheard Tinting speaking to the NIS that they asked him, why are you here, Tinting? He said he was there with their wife. The wife has been called there for questioning, and they are there to, answer to the NIS call.
Do you know for how long she was at the NIA?
If I didn't forget, she spent that day at the NIA and was released the following day. While she was arrested, I was out at night. I was out with the NIS in their lobby. We were doing attire. And during that time, I told one of them to help me with a pen and a paper. Some of them were very nice to me. And a paper and a pen was given to me. I wrote the story of Fatima Jabi being arrested by the NIA. And I used a pen name called Jalaman Jame, which I sent one of the officers. I told him, this is a letter. Can you please to your Jalo South, but be careful. He agreed and dropped that letter to I dropped my articles to the independent newspaper, which was published.
If I get you right, you mentioned that you were given a paper and a pen by one of the officers that you are friendly with, and
yes,
you wrote an article with respect to the arrest of Fatima Jabi and the husband, and you wrote
yes,
it under the pen name Jalambang Jamme.
Jalama
Jamme.
Yes.
Who delivered the article for you?
One of the NIS delivered for me at the independent office.
Was that article published?
Yes, it was published by the independent newspaper on the 5th of August 2002.
At that time, who was this Lamin Sane you are talking about?
Lamin Sane used to live in Europe. So he's from Bakau. But he's not in the Gambia as Tinting.
You mentioned that Fatima Jabi was detained there for 1 day. Can you tell us
Yes.
under which condition, and she was pregnant. Can you tell us
Yes,
under
she was
which
pregnant at the time.
conditions she was kept?
She was not put in a cell. She was, at their front office, and from there they took her to another office, and from there the following day on Sunday, she came there on Saturday, and that was the very day Alaji Yoro Jallo was also invited for questioning in connection to the article I published on Vice President.
You told us about the detention of Fatima Jabi, and now you've mentioned that Alaji Yoro was also called and questioned with respect to the same article you wrote concerning the Vice President. Was he released that day that he was called there?
Yes, he was released the very day. He came there with one of my colleagues, Lamin Diba. My friend, give us the name of this person and we will let you go. I said, no, I can't give you the source of my informant because as a journalist, we are supposed to protect our informants. So he said, if you don't tell us, we know how to get information from you guys. Because we're going to end up torturing you. But nonetheless, I was adamant not to give the source of my informant. And I was detained there from the 2nd to the 5th. That I spent 3 days there. And then at night, when some of those NIAs who were so kind to me will get me out from this cell, take a shower, have dinner with them, drink some attire, and between the hours of 4 and 5, they'll put me back into the cell.
While you were while you were detained at the NIA, were you at any point tortured?
No, I was not tortured. Physically, I was not tortured.
Were you threatened?
Yes, there were threats made by Fode Bari and Captain Lamin said.
Apart from Fatima Jabi, who you said you saw and was detained for 1 day, did you witness any other persons that were detained at the NIA during the period you were there?
Yes, I witnessed the arrest. I saw the people from this place, Yundum and Busumbala, who were arrested by the NIAs and brought into the office. Some of those people met with other guys who were detained there for more than 1 or 2 months. What they did.
My apologies, Mr. Dabo. I apologize for cutting you. We didn't hear the statements that you made because the line was breaking. Can you please repeat what you said?
While I was at the NIA, I found some people there who were arrested and detained there for more than a month or so without being charged or bailed. And at the same time, people from Busumbala and Yundum who were brought into the NIA office.
Do you know in connection with what incident those people were kept there?
They were arrested in connection with theft of fuel that they used to go to the civil aviation fuel tank and withdrew some fuel, put it in the 20-liter gallons, and will go and resell it. Well, some of them, according to them, told me that they worked with civil aviation as security guards, but they have not been paid for like 1 or 2 months, and the Tobaski was coming at the time, so they don't have an option, but rather to steal fuel and resell it. So during that process, they were caught by the NIA. And I had one of the NIA officers I forgot that name, but I knew he completed from Armitage High School. He said, I overheard him saying to the NIA colleagues that when they found these people with a pipe that they connected to the fuel tank, that would pass through the 20 liter, that they put through the 20-liter gallon, that he opened fire to the people and some of them fell. They were able to, get them.
During the 3 days period that you were at the NIA, did you witness anyone being tortured?
No, I did not witness anyone being tortured among them.
Can you tell us what eventually led to your release?
It was on Monday around 4 p.m. that Captain Lamin Sen told me that we're going to release you. But before then, he asked me to write another statement, which I did. And in my statement, I made it categorically clear that since they are intelligent officers, their is to investigate when people do wrong. So I told, why don't you people go and investigate this story? If this story is not true, please let them take legal action against me. He told me that the vice president was not interested to prosecute any journalist for the fact that the late husband was a journalist himself.
After your release, did you continue working with the independent paper?
Yes, when immediately I was released, I took a car and then went to independent office. I called Alaji Yorojalo that I was released, and I went to their office. And I explained my ordeal to them, which was also published subsequently. Then from there, on the following day, on the 6th of August 2002, I was called by Captain Sen to report myself to the NIA, which I complied.
And what was the reason for calling you back to the NIA?
When I arrived there, surprisingly again, they started interrogating me whether I stand by my story. I said, yes, the story is true. There is nothing, that we said in this story that is not correct. But as I said before, I'm still maintaining my stand. That is, investigate. If it is not true, prosecute me.
What eventually happened to that case?
Nothing actually happened. I was there then on the 6th of August, around 6 p.m., they told me to get somebody to bail me. So I called a friend of mine who also used to work with a newspaper from the Gambia Daily, who came and bailed me. But I was never charged or prosecuted.
After that particular incident, were you involved in any other incident, or did you witness any other incident of harassment or violation?
After that incident, I think it was in 2003, again, I was called by the Major Crime Unit that I should report to them for questioning. I went there. At the time, it was late Nuha Kujabi, if I didn't forget his name. He later became the IG, but he's late now. Said that they are interested to know the people I communicated with. Particularly, there is a number that they print out from the Africell company that I've been talking with that person for quite a number of time, together with one Safiatou Ba who used to work with Daily Observer. When I was I say who that person is. They never mentioned the name of that person, but they saw the number to me. It's an Africell number. Said I always talk to that person, and it's an interest to them. So they want me to help them to locate that person. I said I cannot locate the person who I did not know. A statement was taken from me, and they let me go.
Did they tell you why they wanted to locate that person?
No, they didn't tell me that.
Did you find out anything about that particular incident?
No, I did not.
And after that, what happened?
Then after that, I continued with the independent newspaper until, if I don't forget, I think it was 2003 again, that the ex-president, Yahya Jammeh, ordered animals from South Africa for his zoo in Kanilai. So I decided to go to Kanilai to whether it's something true, a cargo flight came from South Africa to bring animals for James Zoo. And when upon arrival at Kanilai, with the GSS was also there, they ordered over 100 crocodiles for his pool, 3 lions, 3 wildebeest, 365 species of different birds that were brought to the zoo, and this article was also published by the independent newspaper.
Did anything happen to you as a result of that article being published? Did anything happen to you as a result of that article being published?
No.
For how long did you continue working for the independent paper after that?
I worked with Independent till like 2004, when we were called by Serif Bojan Senior, the current proprietor of Standard newspaper, that he's been appointed as the managing director of Daily Observer newspaper, and he wants us to go there to revive the paper's independent editorial independence, at the same time to help to generate income, because Observer under the tenure of Buba Balde, they were running at a loss, and it was hard for them to pay their staff at that time because people were not buying the paper.
And when you went back to the Observer, did you have that independence with respect to the stories that you pursued?
Yes, we had that independent because Sirif was independent, free, independent-minded around April or June.
My apologies, Mr. Dawa. The line just keeps breaking, so you have to start from where you started answering the question.
Sirif Bojang is a free individual who believed in the editorial independence of any newspaper.
Hello, Mr. Dawa. I'm sorry for cutting you again, but the line was breaking as well. Can you please repeat your answer once more?
Serif Bojang is a free who believed in the editorial independence of any newspaper, and he was not interfering with the activities of the editorial board.
And for how long did Sheriff Bojang continue as the head of the independent paper?
Almost like 2 years, I think, if I can remember, almost 2 years. But while Sirif was there, there was another incident that happened.
Tell us about it.
This was in connection with one Lamin Jai, who came from, I believe it was in Germany or Switzerland. He came to Gambia on a vacation. So the vice president's convoy shot at him around the Independence Stadium while they were driving to Banjul. They said he obstructs the traffic.
And what happened?
He was admitted at the intensive care unit of the Royal Victoria Hospital. So people heard of the gunshots, and the journalists were all trying to know what really happened. So most of us were informed that they shot somebody who was at the intensive care unit of the RVH. But I mean, the place was guarded by armed soldiers because they don't want anybody to access him to interview him. So I told Serif that I won't try to get this story. He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." Then I spoke to one of the nurses, who at the time was also a police officer. I mean, I spoke with him. He said, yes, he's here in our office. He's been admitted at RBH here. I said, I want to interview him. He said, we have security officer, guards here. It's going to be hard for you to come in here. I said, okay, I will try my best. Then we discussed at length. I told him to place a gown that the doctors or the surgeons will use at the door. And then I dressed myself with a colleague of mine from the independent newspaper. I dressed myself into that doctor's gown with my recorder on. I entered at the ICU unit, interviewed that Lamin Jai, and then the story was published. When the story came out, the protocol of the vice president at the time, if I didn't forget, it was Puy Jobate, and then called at the office that we should not have, published that article, and that they threatened Lamin Jai again, and they asked him whether he spoke to any journalist. He said no. Then I played Serif played the audio that I recorded with Lamin Jai when I interviewed him to Puy Jobate, and Puy told them that yes, this journalist penetrated the security, and they interviewed Lamin Jai, and he had listened to that interview.
Did you eventually publish that article?
The article was published, and Steve was very happy how I was able to penetrate the security officers standing at the ICU whilst as a doctor.
Was the government happy about that article?
No, they were not happy about it. But the fact of the matter is, we got what we wanted, and the interview was held, and fortunately for us, we have the record in the recorder. The voice of Lamin Jai.
After that particular incident, did Sheriff Bojan continue to be the editor-in-chief of the paper?
I think it was later that year he was relieved of his duties, and then Buba Balde came in as and Sajatal came in as the managing director.
What do you think led to him being relieved of his duties?
I believe it is in connection to the editorial independence that was lost and regained. They feel that the Observer is going too much. We are not advocating for APRC and Jammeh's agenda.
You said who took over after Sheriff Bojan?
Dr. Sajatal.
Can you please tell us about Dr. Sajatal when he took over the Observer paper?
When Sajatal was appointed as the managing director of the Daily Observer, we had a staff meeting in the presence of Nene Magdol-Gay and late Mamadou Sanya. So he, briefed us. They briefed us because they were part of the board. They briefed us that Sajatal is our new managing director, and anything he's the one we should get the advice from. So we complied, and during that meeting, I remember vividly that Ibrahim Jaumani asked Dr. Sajatal why did he accept that job. Sajatal says he came there purposely was the Observer is owned by Yaya Jammeh, and that he was there to promote the welfare of Jammeh's agenda and that of the APRC.
And what was your response, you and your colleagues? What was your response to what he said?
Well, when he came there first, at one time he threatened us that he told us that he came with 11 people that he was told to fire, but he's going to give us the benefit of the doubt. But they align us to be UDP supporters.
Sorry, did I hear you say that he said he came with a list of people that are intended to be fired, right?
Yes, 11 people, including myself.
Did he fire those 11 people, including yourself?
He fired some of the people, but before reaching even 5 people, he was fired.
Sorry, can you repeat your answer again?
He fired some people, but he was also fired while we stayed.
Who were the people he fired?
If I don't forget, it was Baba Drame was one of them. Momodu Sane, Small was fired, but Small later they later brought Small back. I might forget some of the names actually, but about 5 people were fired. But the list that he came with included myself, Ibrahim Jaumane, Lamin Diba, Small Sane, we call him Momodu Sane. We have Momodu Sonko. Some of these people were lithographers and at the production department.
Do you know the source of that list?
Actually, no. But I believe it came from the board of directors.
And why do you believe that it came from the board of directors?
Because normally they will give the directives or who stay and who will get fired.
Can you please tell us about the editorial policy of the Observer under the leadership of Dr. Sajatal?
So under the leadership of Dr. Sajatal, he said, I remember he said to us that, if anybody doesn't want to comply to what he have said, the door is opened. You can leave honorably. Because he was fired twice by President Jack and would not allow it to happen again. And in that sense, he says to us, if anybody, before anybody sacrifice him to be sacked as the manager of Observer, he'll make you are sacked first.
And what did you take that to mean?
We know that he was very serious about it. So when we published some article that didn't go well with him, he will come and then we'll make a big noise of it. When he's trying to fire you, the deputy director at the time and will always intervene. Say, please give them chance, give them the second chance.
Can you tell us about these incidents?
One of the incidents was, the major incident that happened at that time was during the AU summit, when Chief Ibrahim Manneh was reported by Dr. Sajatal to the NIA and he got arrested.
How do you know that Dr. Sajatal was the one that reported Chief Ibrahim Manneh?
Dr. Sajatal was informed by Pamalik Fai, one of our news editors, that he, Dr. Tal, entrusted me and my colleague, that is Ibrahim Jaumane, Lamin Diba and others, that we should run the Daily Observer newspaper. But he came across something on our international page and he stopped it because he wants to be in the good books of Dr. Sajatal at the time. So they discussed this. They discussed this at one of the gas station on Fajara Road at Shell. And one of their workers, no Ibrahim Jaumane, he called Ibrahim Jaumane and informed him that your managing director was here with one of your colleagues. And I heard him talking about you, Jaumane, Lamin Deba, Usman Dabo, and others, that you have allowed Chief Manneh to download something from the internet, and he is going to report you to the NIA. So before they came back to the office, we were informed.
Can you tell us what it was that Chief Manneh downloaded from the internet?
Chief Ibrahim Manneh downloaded about the African foreign ministers who were in the Gambia to attend the AU summit, that they are supposed to meet to discuss on a charter of good governance and democracy in Africa. And in that article, that was published by Elizabeth Ohaini of the BBC newspaper, BBC radio, indicated that the host, that is Yahya Jammeh, the host meeting came to power through a coup d'etat together with many of his peers. And I still have the article here with me.
Thank you very much. Can you please make an undertaking to scan the page that you're referring to and send it to us?
Yes, I can definitely do that.
Can you please tell us about the title of that particular article and the date of the article itself?
The date of the article was on Friday, 30th June 2006, on page 5 Daily Observer. AU to discuss democracy charter.
Sorry, Mr. Dabo, can you please repeat yourself because you were breaking us, you were saying it.
The article was dated 30th June 2006 of the Daily Observer, page 5 of the World News, and the headline was AU to discuss democracy charter with a picture of Yahya Jammeh.
That particular article, was it picked up from the internet verbatim and placed in the Observer paper, or was it cited by Chief Manneh in his article?
Okay, we all have a responsibility at the Daily Observer at the time to make our work easy for us. So Chief Ibrahim Manneh was the one responsible for the international page column. So he will go to the internet and get some stories that he feel like they are deemed for public consumption. He will, download it and laid it out on the Daily Observer World News column.
So it was an article that was just being downloaded from an international media and put verbatim in the international space of the Daily Observer, right?
Yes.
Was that article eventually published?
Actually, it was printed by the Observer, but it was never made public. It was never made public because we feel that the story will not go well with Dr. Sajatal, knowing for the fact that and his agenda of promoting Jammeh's welfare and that of the APRC, we feel that this story might not go well with it. So we decided as a team to take that portion from the Daily Observer publication. So we went to the production department to find out whether it has been printed. So the head of the printing department told us that they have already printed the page. About 2,500 pages have been printed. We told him that, well, we want to cancel that page. We came with another story, and that's what we're going to use that. So we decided to put this international page into our store so nobody could have access to it.
When you say we, who are you referring to, please?
That's the editorial board of the Observer.
Can you please name the people that were on the editorial board of the Observer?
At that time, it was myself, Pamalik Fai, Ibrahim Manneh, Lamin Diba, and I think one of the commissioner, Mustafa Kar, was one of our proofreaders at that time, if I didn't forget. Mustafa Kar, one of your commissioners, with Thomas Kojo, Sidi Bojang, were also part of the proofreaders.
They were the proofreaders. Were they necessarily part of the editorial board?
Not actually.
Thank you very much. This thing that you're telling us, was it before or after Chief Manneh's arrest?
Okay, when this article was printed, it was never made public. At that time, Chief was not arrested. We called him and informed him that we want to take this story out and put another story there, in which he agreed.
You also told us that Dr. Sajatal was the one that reported Chief. Can you tell us how he reported him?
When Dr. Sajatal came to the Daily Observer with Pamalik Fai, he met with one of my uncles, and he called him and says, Mr. Dabo, with this paper in his hand. He got it from the store, our observer store. He said to me, I entrust this paper to you, but on the whole, you are stabbing me on my back. This was, printed, and you guys decided to keep it away from me, away whom I did not trust, whom I called as a griot, was the one who informed me about this. I'm going to call Captain Lamin Sane to arrest all the editorial members, and by the time he's through with you guys, you're going to see who was the one responsible for this article.
As at this time, did you already decide that you will not publish this particular article?
Yes, we already decided that we are not going to make it public. And we did not make it public, we just kept it in our store.
So, between the time Dr. Tal told you that he will report the editorial board to Captain Sen and the time Chief Manneh was arrested, can you please tell us the time frame?
When this article was written on Friday the 30th, on Saturday we were at the office and we saw two plainclothes officers. One whom I know was Sirif C. We call each other General because he used to be at the major crime unit of the police. He was also a CID officer and later went to the Interpol department. He was attached to our office with another officer and told us that they're looking for Chief Manneh. I said, before he asked for Chief Manneh, I told him, General, what are you doing here in my office? He said, we are here for a mission. I said, are you here to arrest somebody? He said, no, we're here to ask somebody some questions. So he asked for Chief Manneh. Then I asked, if I remember, I told him Chief Manneh is in the computer room. So Chief was called out and she told him that he is needed for questioning at Bakar. We told him that
Sorry,
if Chief
Mr.
is going, every one of us has...
Sorry, once again, can you please repeat yourself? You said you told him that Chief Manneh is in the computer room. Thereafter, what happened?
Thereafter, we called Chief, and Chief came to answer to him. He told Chief Manneh that he is needed at Bakau police station for questioning. So we asked in regards to what? They never revealed. So we said, then you have to take all of us then if you are going to pick Chief Manneh. What we know, actually they were there because of the fact that Dr. Sajatal told us that he's going to report the matter to Captain Lamin Sane in connection to with this article. So we knew that he's going to be arrested. So Chief told us that no, it's okay, I can go by myself. Then we advised him to put his phone on so we can be in communication with him. So they took him to Bagao police station. And after several hours, we could not hear from Chief. We called him and the phone was switched off. Then we decided to go to the Bagao police station to ask for him. At first they insisted that, they told us that Chief Manneh was never at Bagao police station. So we stayed there, we said Chief was arrested by Sirif C and another guy whom I don't know. And they told us that they are bringing him here. So when we stood there after several hours, they told us that Chief Manneh, yes, he was arrested, but he's taken to the NIA.
This Sheriff C that you're talking about, do you know which security outlet he worked for?
He was a plainclothes officer from the police department. Currently, when I was in the Gambia last January and February, I do see him at the Detention bridge.
What does he do at the Detention bridge?
I know he's still a police officer in a plainclothes, but I don't know whether he's under the traffic now or not. But he's stationed at the police station in at the Detention bridge.
When you received the news that Chief Manneh was taken to the NIA, did you go there to find out if he was there?
Yes, we tried there several times, and then anytime we go there, they'll tell us that he is never there. But because that's the routine of the NIA, that's the operando. They'll always tell you that we don't arrest this person. Even when I was arrested, one of my sisters came there to look for me, She asked Salimina Drame, Salimina Drame, whether I've been picked up, and Salimina lied to her that I was arrested. So that's their mode of operandi.
When they told you that he was not there, did you further inquire about his whereabouts?
Yes, we did, and we continue. And Point newspaper, and I believe Foroya, they published an article of his arrest.
As at the time of Chief's arrest, was the management there? That is, Dr. Sajatal, was he present?
Yes, yes, Sajatal was present actually. So anytime I do an investigation on Chief Ibrahim Manneh, I will send my report to the Point newspaper on a pen name, Nyakasi Jame. I use this Jame's last names just to frustrate Yahya Jammeh, because he wouldn't believe that a Jammeh last name will go and be critical of his government. So I always try to use a pen name with the last name of Jammeh.
Why not Daily Observer? Why send it to other papers?
The Observer newspaper will never publish it. Sajata will never allow us to publish anything about Chief Manneh.
You mentioned that you did some investigations with respect to Chief Manneh. Can you please tell us about the investigations, just step by step, where you started and where you ended with the investigation?
I started from my inside sources from the NIA, and they confirmed to me that Chief was indeed there at one time. But they moved him to Mile 2. So we couldn't access Mile 2 because he was kept incommunicado. I one day went to the police headquarters in Banjul, and I was informed by a senior police officer who later became an Inspector General of Police. He was a human rights lawyer, prosecutors too, told me that he got information from human rights organizations that Chief Manneh was detained at Sibanor police station.
Can you please tell us the name of this senior police officer?
It was former IGP Landing Kinte.
Did you do anything with respect to the information you received from Mr. Kinte?
Yes, when I received this information, I came and I informed Dr. Sejatal. Because, as the months passed by, one day Dr. Tal told me that he couldn't sleep when the memories of Chief Manneh clicked into his head. He thinks of, seeing the ghost of Chief Manneh. So when I came and informed him that, I was told by a senior police officer that Chief Manneh was detained at Sibanor. He told me to go and find out. I went to Sibanor, but upon arrival at Sibanor, the police told me, yes, he was there, but he's Gunjur. I called Dr. Tal and informed him accordingly. But I didn't tell him I was going to Gunjur. Because again, I become suspicious that maybe he's alerting the police that I was doing an investigation.
Upon arrival at Sibanor, which police officer did you speak to?
I don't know them actually. I don't know those officers. I told them that I was there to find out about a friend and a colleague, Chief Manneh, who I was told was detained by them there.
Sorry, was it at Sibanor police station or somewhere else?
It was Sibanor police station I went to. Then from Sibanor police station, I went to Gunjur. At Gunjur too, they told me that he was there briefly, but was taken away.
Where in Gunjur did you go?
At Gunjur police station.
Did they give you any details apart from the fact that he was here and they've taken him away?
No, they didn't give me any fact. They didn't give me any other information.
And where did they say they took him to?
They said they don't know. So I came back. I also informed even Lani Kinda again. I informed Sajatal and some of my colleagues. So while I was there, a colleague of ours told us that, he goes with one NI officer. That NI is late. He's from Kombo Dasilame. That they used to take, food to detainees at Bundung, behind the Bundung police station, that there is a compound seized by Yaya Jammeh and they are detaining people there at that time.
Which colleague of yours gave you this information?
This was Mohamed Lamin Sane, we call him Small. That NI officer was a friend of his.
And did you go to that place to inquire?
I went to that place, he showed me the place, I went there to inquire, but I could not have access to get inside the compound. And I couldn't know who were the people detained there.
Can you please tell us where this particular place is located in Bundung?
It's like before, like if you're coming from Serekunda market area towards Bundung, there is a junction there on the right hand side. You have to take that junction. It leads to you to a school. There is a middle school or a senior secondary school there. On the right hand side of the football field, there is a compound there where they used to.
Do you know the name of the school?
Detain people.
The name
I don't
of
know
the
whether
school.
it's Mindao or what. I'm not too sure whether it's Mindao.
Can you repeat the name?
Mindao. Is it Mindao or Mindao? I forgot the name of the school. But there's a school there. It's a middle school.
Okay, go ahead.
So I went there, but I could not have access to get inside the compound.
Can you tell us what you observed when you went to that place?
The security officers sitting by the gate will be doing attire there, and you can hear voices, but I mean see them.
What kind of voices can you hear from there?
Voices of the security officers who are stationed there, because they normally according to the sources, they normally have a routine where they will switch security officers to be stationed there, and they are always in mufti, in camouflage. They never put on any uniform.
Did you have an interaction with any of the police officers that you saw there?
No, I could not. I did not have any interaction with them.
Thereafter, did you have any clues leading to the whereabouts of Chief Manneh?
Yes, after that, a colleague of mine who works with the Foreign newspaper was also doing some investigations about Chief Manneh.
Sorry, can you please repeat the name?
Yaya Damfa.
Go ahead, please.
Yaya was also doing investigations on Chief Manneh, and when we got the information that Chief was moved to Fatoto police station in Upper River region, Yaya and the Amnesty International personnel traveled to
Can you please repeat your statement? You said Yaya and the other Amnesty International personnel traveled
to Fatoto.
Okay.
To find out whether Chief Manneh was indeed being detained there.
And what did they find out?
Damfa, when they arrived at Fatoto, between the hours of 2 o'clock to 3 p.m., he saw Chief Manneh. After eating his lunch, he was escorted by the police to his cell. So he rose to the police station and told them that he was there to look for Chief Manneh. They told him that Chief was never there. He insisted with the Amnesty International personnel that Chief was there because they saw him going in with him, escorted by the police. But they denied that he was there. And eventually, they were arrested and taken to Banjul Police Headquarters.
Yaya Damfa, did he work closely with Chief Manneh?
Not actually. He doesn't work closely. He works at the time. He retired from the army and became a journalist with Foreign newspaper.
Did he personally know Chief Manneh?
Yes, he knows Chief Manneh.
So he would recognize him when he sees him anywhere?
Oh yes, definitely he will. He knows him very well.
Did Yaya tell you the state in which Chief Manneh was when he saw him?
Yes, because myself and Yaya went to the international court. So Yaya told me that Chief Manneh was not in a good condition at the time he saw him after having his lunch at Fatoto police station.
What do you mean by not in a good condition?
Like he was kind of weak, because we know him, he was very, healthy and very strong, but he was kind of weak.
During his detention, because you mentioned that Yaya and the Amnesty International personnel were also detained. During their detention, did they have any interaction with Chief Manneh?
No, they couldn't have any interaction with Chief Manneh. Well, they were also arrested and escorted to Banjul Police Headquarters.
Apart from that incident, did you receive any other clues as to the whereabouts of Chief Manneh?
No, I did not receive any clue, but later, within that period, his elder brother, Lamin Babai Manneh, came to the observer office and asked Dr. Sejatal about the whereabouts of Chief Ibrahim Manneh.
And what was the response of Dr. Tal about the whereabouts of Chief Manneh?
When Lamin Babai Manneh came, Lamin Babai Manneh was a convict by the Jammeh administration for alleging that he was part of the November 11 coup d'etat, and he was sentenced to 9 years imprisonment. So after his imprisonment, when they were released from prison, I was one of the journalists who interviewed them, and he came to the office. We recognized each other and asked for Dr. Sejatal. I took him to Dr. Tal's office, but it didn't go well. So they had arguments, and Sejatal kicked him out of the office and informed the security that he never wanted to see anybody from Chief Manneh's family to be at the office.
Between the time Chief was arrested and the time his brother came to the office, can you estimate the time for us?
It was like 3 or 4 days later, he came to the office.
Apart from Chief Manneh's brother, did anyone else come to the office to inquire about him?
Yes, his father came there too to ask about Chief Manneh.
And what happened when he came?
When he came there, he had some words with Dr. Tal, and Dr. Tal told him that he was arrested by the NIA.
Did you speak to the father when he came to the office?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about your interaction with him?
When I met with the father, we spoke briefly, and I told him that let's assure that we're going to do our investigations. We are not going to let it die like that, and we are working tooth and nail to know the whereabouts of Chief Manneh. Then I briefed him about our investigation from Bakau police station to Banjul and to Sibanor and other places. So then later I became a family close friend to the family.
Did you eventually find out where Chief Manneh was?
After Damfa and the Amnesty staff were arrested, they moved Chief Manneh from Fatoto to Sarangai.
How did you know about this information?
We've been informed by some police officers who were not happy about his arrest and detention because he has never been charged and he's been moved from one police station to the other. And they feel that that was very wrong.
Can you please tell us the police officers that gave you this information?
Actually, at Sarangai, there was a police officer who was stationed there. If I didn't forget, the last name was Sar. So when I got the information, I tried to get the number for Sarangai, called there, and At that time, they confirmed that Chief was detained in Sarangai, and I wrote an article again, if I don't forget, on the Point newspaper with Nyakasi Jami again.
And what was stated in your article?
That he was, we just say sources because we cannot, identify our sources, name at that time, because we know the Jammeh's administration's type of rule. So we just say sources, revealed that he was moved from Fatoto to Sarangai, and it has been confirmed by police. So when that was confirmed, we went to the police, the police PRO. I think it was Aziz Bojang, if I don't forget, the police PRO at the time. And Mr. Bojang is so close, Chief Manneh was very close to Aziz Bojang. Was some of those police officers were very nice people, Aziz Bojang, Pa Amadi Jallo, Brahma Diba, and others. They were very resourceful to the media. So he said he couldn't confirm that Chief was at Sarangai. But with the mode of operandi, he was there, but they were farming to us because nobody wants to be in the net of Yahya Jammeh at that time.
Apart from the work that you did, the investigation work that you did, trying to locate the whereabouts of Chief, do you know if anyone or any organization did anything to find out his whereabouts?
Reporters Without Borders, we are doing their investigations. Amnesty International, almost the CPJ, Community to Protect Journalists. These were all, the Media Foundation for West Africa. These were all, the media companies who were vigorously attacking Jammeh to produce Chief Manneh dead or alive. But, the Gambia government never adhered to this. So, after one of my trips from Nigeria, when I came home, I got the information that he was admitted to the intensive care unit. I think this was in 2006, if I didn't forget. I think 2006. Then I called at the ICU, and it happened that a friend of mine, who was also a police officer and a police medic, confirmed that Chief was there, but he was moved away from there to the military medics unit.
Can you please tell us the name of that friend that told you that Chief was there at the RBTH intensive care unit?
I can't remember the last name, but it was Sajo.
Can you please give us a detail so that we will be able to identify who this Sajo is? Apart from working at the intensive care unit, did he do anything else?
He was a police officer at the time. But he's been trained as a nurse from, I think, Bansang. He was trained as an SCN.
Did you go to the military Medicare unit to find out if Chief Manneh was there?
Yes, I did. But I couldn't have access, and they denied that he was there.
Can you tell us who was in charge of the medic unit at that time at the military barracks?
I'm not too sure, but at that time, we have one Jaju who works there, and Damfa was also there, and a lady medic was also there too.
You know the first name of Damfa?
I'm not too sure whether it's Lamin or something, but it's a light-skinned guy. And Jaju was also there at the time, because Jaju was the one who was going to Bajinka's house to treat Sanamanjang when he got burned at the Independent.
Do you know the first name of Jaju?
No. But on their uniforms, their last name was written there.
Can you describe this Jaju you're talking about?
Jaju is almost the same height with me, and I know he's from Fonyi, but which village I don't know, but he's from Fonyi. But I believe if you ask the medics, they will know.
Can you estimate his height for us?
It could be 6-0 because I'm 602.
Did he have any distinctive feature that sets him apart?
He's not. I mean, he's just like athletical build.
Apart from that, did you find out any other information about Chief Manneh?
We were also informed again that he was, taken back to mile 2, and we couldn't confirm, but we were told that after mile 2, he was moved to I don't know, Basse police station or Garawal, something. He died around that area. And we couldn't confirm too, while he was seriously sick, he was beaten by the then commissioner or governor at URD.
Can you please tell us who the governor was at that time at URD?
I'm not too sure whether it was Omar Khan.
Can you please confirm the date that Chief was arrested to the date that you last heard information about him?
It was on the 7th of July, 2006.
And when was the last information you heard about him?
This was in 2007, shortly before I left for the international court.
And that is the information about him being at URD, right?
Yes.
And URD meaning Upper River Division, right?
Yes. Yes.
You mentioned that you went to ECOWAS court. Can you tell us the purpose for you going to the ECOWAS court?
It was on a Wednesday while working at the Observer, because when they knew that, I know a lot about Chief Manneh, and I've been following the case of Chief Manneh very well. Dr. Sajatal was told that I should be a reporter at the State House under Yahya Jammeh. Closed the State House for 18 months. And one of the NIS, who was Dabo, he used to call me Mbadi. Mbadi means relative.
Sorry, Mr. Dabo, can you please start from when they know that you were investigating about Chief Manneh? Dr. Sajatal told you that you should be a reporter attached to the State House. That's where we stopped. The rest we couldn't hear it.
Yes, I was attached to State House. Sorry. I was attached to State House as a reporter to cover the daily activities of President Yahya Jammeh. So they will deter me from going to the international court. And I won't have the time to talk to the international media because I was interviewed by BBC at one time about Chief Manneh's issue. And during the World Press Freedom Day at Alliance Franco, I made myself clear and I revealed Chief Manneh's arrest there and his movements. So while I was out, an NIA officer, the last name is Dabo, I think he's from Sukuta. He'll call me Mbadi, means relative. You gotta be careful. You have been sent here as a sacrifice from the Observer, where they know your activities involved in locating Chief Ibrahim Manneh. So my advice to you is to leave this country immediately if you can. But I insisted that it's okay, I'll be fine. And he'll give me his worldly advice that I should then be very careful who I talk to while I'm at State House in Banjul.
And for how long did you remain at the State House?
I remained at State House for almost 18 months. And we do spend the weekends in Kanilai.
You mentioned that at one point you were taken to go testify at the ECOWAS court. Can you please tell us about that?
It was on a Wednesday after my coverage at State House. I received a telephone call from Senegal by Sirif Bojan Jr., who told me that there is a big opportunity here. Can you please come right now with it? I told him, no, I can't do that. I'm a family man, so I cannot just leave my family here like that and travel to Dhaka. So I insisted for him to tell me the opportunity. Then he said, are you safe to talk to me where you are? And I answered yes. He told me that we need you to go and testify at the at the ECOWAS court on the issue of Chief Ibrahim Manneh. But I'm scared to tell you this on the phone for the fact that the Gambia is not a safe, and you are being watched closely. I told him, okay, what is? I wouldn't mind to come, but what we can do is, if a lady friend of yours is there. At that time, Sejatal was fired as the director observer, and Dida Halake was the one appointed. So I told him to use a lady to call Dida Halake and inform him that that lady works as secretary to the Gambian High Commissioner in Dhaka, that I am invited to attend a conference, a 2-day conference, which he agreed. And a lady friend who happens to be our auntie, we call her auntie, spoke with Dida Halake, but at one time Dida was saying no because Usman has to be in Kanilai on Friday to cover an activity of the president. But was told that 2 days there and they're going to pay my flight back on Friday early morning. But we, 3 of us, knew that that was fake. We just trying to make sure that I lived the country safely, without then being known that I'm going to testify at the ECOWAS court.
And did you eventually succeed in going to the ECOWAS court and testifying?
Yes, I went, but before I left, I spoke to a judge, a high court judge in the Gambia at the time, and a senior, a friend of mine at Civil Aviation, to look after my family while I'm away.
While you were away, did your family remain in the Gambia?
When I left on Wednesday, on Thursday, I had a meeting with Sri Bojan Jr. together with Amijuf Cole. And Professor Kwame Karikari called from Ghana, from Dagal. When I spoke with them, at first I was reluctant to go for the fact that I left my family behind. At that time, my wife just delivered my twins, who were barely old. So I was reluctant to go, but when I think of it, I said, if I don't do it for Chief Manneh, who is going to do it? Who is going to be the next culprit of Yahya Jammeh if we don't stand firm to defend our fellow journalists? So I agreed that I'll be going. Then a friend of mine who works at Civil Aviation, I called him if he can give some money to my family so they can leave the Gambia safely. So I sent a neighbor to him. He gave that neighbor $10,000 to give it to my wife, who then went to the immigration. I also called the immigration officer and a senior police officer to help me facilitate my family to get a passport to leave the Gambia. So it was on a Friday. They went to get a passport, and my wife and the twins happened to get the passport on time. Then she went to my family in Bakote, informed them that I said she need to meet me. But I didn't tell them actually what was going on. I just told them that I had a job, so I want my family to join me there. But they were scared. Actually, when my wife told them that, I said, let her meet me in Dhaka with the kids. So they left Gambia on a Saturday. And that very Saturday, when they arrived in Dhaka, I already left for Nigeria.
The arrest and the disappearance of Chief Manneh, can you please tell us if it had any impact on you and your fellow journalists?
It really impacted us greatly because we were all putting at the back of our mind that any one of us could be the next target. Any one of us can disappear like Chief Manneh. Any one of us can be killed by Data Hydra, like Data Hydra. So we always try to be at least a step ahead of those Jammeh and his men. So we always try to be one step ahead of them.
The court proceedings that you attended at the ECOWAS court, can you please tell us what the outcome of it was?
After my testimony, together with Yaya Damfa at the ECOWAS court in Nigeria, we went back to our hotel. Then Professor Kwame Karikari, who was the CEO of Media Foundation for West Africa, joined us in Nigeria. We all stayed in the same hotel. He told us that he's going to take us to Ghana to be working on the foundation for West Africa. Because he feels that, it is not safe for we to return to Gambia.
Can you tell us the outcome of the case with respect to the disappearance of Chief Manneh?
It was until after our testimony, the Gambia government was fined to pay Chief Manneh's family $100,000 US. That was the verdict of the ECOWAS court.
Do you know if the Gambian government took any steps to investigate the disappearance of Chief Manneh?
No, they did not.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo, for answering all of my questions. And thank you for being patient and waking up early in the morning.
Can I add something there?
Yes, sir.
After our testimony, while my family was in Dhaka for 4 months, they joined me in Ghana. I spent 9 months in Ghana. While I was in Ghana, I received information that the Jammeh administration declared me wanted, and that I was the one who informed the Ghanaian government about the killing of the 44 Ghanaians. So I stayed in Ghana for 9 months before being relocated to the United States. But during my stay there, the Media Foundation was very cautious of who I talk to and who visits me. So I don't have access to Gambians while out there until maybe later in that year. That some of the students I'll meet out from Legon University and who are Gambians, I will have some little time with them. But the issue is the 44 Ghanaians that were killed. We did publish an article on it, and because when they killed the 7 people first and threw them at Tanje, by the Tanje seaside, where myself, Manneh, with Aziz Bojang and others, when they have 7 bodies who were taken to the Royal Victoria post-mortem to be conducted to find out the causes of their death. But one of them escaped, and he is a Ghanaian who informed the Ghanaian government about the death of Chief Manneh, and never who informed the government about the death of those 44 Ghanaians.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabo, for that additional information. This is a matter of interest to the Commission. The Commission will look into this matter, and if need be, you will be further consulted on it as well. Thank you very much. Now I'll hand you over to the Chairman and the Commissioners for further questioning.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Council, and thank you very much, Mr. Dabo, for your testimony, and really appreciate you getting up very early in the morning Seattle is what, 7 hours, some time difference between Seattle and Banjul. But thanks again very much, Chama, for your testimony. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Thank you so much,
Commissioner Kinte, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Usman Dabo.
Thank you, sir.
You told us that Chief Manneh was later finally taken to URR, but you weren't sure whether it was Basse police station or Garawal police station.
Yes.
Could you be of any help so that we establish his last point of where he was last seen or last known to be?
That was Basse police station, and that was slapped by the then governor of that place, or the commissioner, which I believe it was Omar Khan. And Chief Manneh was said to be buried in, I think, Diabugu or somewhere. Diabugu or Gambisara, he was buried at.
Diabugu or Gambisara?
Yeah.
But around a police station, is it?
It was Basse police station that he was last seen, and but the burial, he was buried around Diabugu.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions? If not, Mr. Dabo, would you have any concluding remarks to make? If you do, please proceed to make him now.
Yes. Good morning from Seattle, and good afternoon to all Gambians. We have seen what the Gambia and the Gambians have gone through during the 22 years regime of Yahya Jammeh. My advice to all Gambians is to remain united. Let's see ourselves, let's see our country first. We need to work hand in hand to make sure that the Gambia become a better place of living. To make sure that the Gambia, the tyranny rule that we encountered for 22 years, will not be something that will emerge in the Gambia again. As Gambians, we need to see our first, than our individual interest. I would urge the Gambia government to put in place a term limit of the president's rule in the Gambia. We need to make sure that democracy flourishes in the Gambia. Let people have the right to support any political party of their choice. Let people have the right to demonstrate without asking for a permit. Let people have the right to religion of worship. Let us have the right to assemble without fear in our hearts. Let the police and the security apparatus of the Gambia know that Gambia is bigger than them, and they should treat all civilians, irrespective of their political affiliation or religion, to treat us as one family, to treat us as brothers and sisters, to make sure that the Gambia, we all live in a very conducive environment without, and we have to assemble. The Gambia government should put in place to make sure that Gambia is for Gambians, and no country can develop Gambia for us without we the Gambians. Let us also be careful the use of the social media. Many Gambians are abusing the social media a lot by tarnishing each other's image, fighting one another, cursing one another. This is not something we should encourage. The social media is here to connect us as brothers and sisters and as one family. We need to refrain from character assassination just because you just have a hatred against somebody. Let us be careful. The use of our social media is affecting our marriages, is affecting our culture as Gambians. We need to make sure that Gambia is for Gambians, and it's Gambia we should unite and develop. And I thank you very much for this opportunity given to me to come and testify before TRRC.
Thank you very much again indeed, Mr. Dabo. Council, if we don't have any more witness for this afternoon, we will call it a day and meet again tomorrow at 10 a.m. sharp. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
Very big grams. I hope you don't get it from where I'm suspecting.
Do you think you're the only one who knows where all the good news come from? My son bought me this ram all the way from abroad with baluwo.
Oh yes, this must be baluwo. Me too, my daughter just bought one for me. True baluwo. With baluwo, everything is possible.
This Tabaski, you can buy RAM for your family using the trusted Baluwo. Just log on to the www.baluwo.com website or download the app. You can buy RAM, otherwise foodstuffs such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, and much more for your family this Tabaski. Baluwo, better than sending money.